Canada, we could have a Prime Minister Carney. We could have a catastrophe on our hands. Huge explosion of housing prices. A incomprehensible immigration flood. Like hard to even grasp. The patterns of what we're seeing in Canada are eerily similar to that in America. Canadians over the age of 60 and over are by far the most likely to vote for Carney because they thought he was good at dealing with Donald Trump. For younger voters, very similar to here in America, they wanted to reduce the cost of living. Canadian baby boomers don't care about the future of Canada. During the lockdowns, we saw a "we will sacrifice the youth to save the old" mantra. Very troubling. Few people isolated this and pinpointed this, and we kind of just all believed it. Yeah, we're going to ruin our kids' lives so that we can have a better 5 years. When has that ever been the case of a Western value? That is a soft form of child sacrifice.
Check, 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 check. All of them. Where Canada is now enjoying all of those things all at once. Thanks to, it's really not Mark Carney. Mark Carney's just an unremarkable retard that they put in there as a puppet. He didn't even live here. It's crazy. But, trying to convince one of the boomtard rats that they may be fooled it's easier to fool them than it is to tell them that, they've been fooled. There's one article I'm just going to show this real quick that stood out, which it goes to my thesis on inversion language with politics. It's this one right here. It says breaking. Oh, wait a second. Can't see that. Where are you? Uh-oh. I pressed something else. Vids for later. Is that it? Yeah. Breaking. The Bank of Canada says Canada's economy will crawl at just 1.1%, 1.2%, 1.6% growth over the next 3 years, while the PM brags about unimaginable growth. Now remember, what they say is true. Remember, diversity is our strength. Diversity is their strength. They're strong because we're divided, right? Diversity is our strength. It's true. Unimaginable growth. The boomtard rats will be thinking that that's about the economy, but that's about immigration, right? He's telling the truth. Canada will see unimaginable growth in immigration, right? And so the way he would political talk this, it'd say, Mark Carney, Prime Minister Carney, the Bank of Canada says Canada's economy will draw at 1.1%, 1.2%, 1.6% growth over the next 3 years. But you said you're saying that is unimaginable growth. How do you reconcile that? When I said unimaginable growth, it was for immigration. We're gonna have unimaginable growth. He's gonna elbows up. I'm going to put that little dancing Carney as a green screen. I looked for it this morning trying, has someone green screen Mark Carney elbows up? Answer's no. So I'll do it. I guarantee you guys, there'll be at least 40 views on that one. Maybe even some downloads. Essentially, we've done nothing. Yesterday was kind of an up day, but this is what I'm not too happy about. I would have liked to see more elasticity in yesterday's rebound. So like generally when we have a dump, if the market is healthy and bullish, we'll see, a rebound as with the equal amount of velocity. So this, let's say we started on Sunday and then we bottomed on Tuesday. Let's just say 48 hours. I would kind of expect in a healthy, bullish market to have the same reply. How's it going? Good, thanks for asking. Just kind of instant. So Tuesday would take us to, maybe tomorrow we kind of have to be at this 110. I'm going to put it in. Let the doodle speak for itself. 110. Friday. What is that? 110? Damn it. God damn it. Jesus Christ. Got this lag because I'm using a TV as a monitor, so it's, just enough to screw you up. 110 on Friday. That's what I would like to. 100. Come on, guys. Jesus, what are these producers on this show are just out to lunch. 110 Friday to kind of respond to the elasticity that we need in a bullish market. The fact that we petered out only at, let's see what fib this is. I haven't even drawn one. Oh, yeah. There it is. 38.2% fib. I should have known. That's a candlestick to wick, mind you, but that's, what we're going to do here. That's the 38.2% FIP that we're coming up against, and it's confluent with this channel of descensions resistance. So, and the 20 moving average. So we got to try delta gamma. So that's to be expected that we're hitting our hit on that one. We basically got to get up there. I don't know what else to tell you. We have to get over this. Next up would be the 50% fib at 105. At 105, this is why 105 is important, because on the weekly chart, we don't want to close this weekly candle underneath the 50 moving average. It's just, you think those Asians are superstitious little so-and-sos? Well, wait till you see Western world finance bros lose their mind over a weekly close under the 50. You think 8s in Asia are superstitious? Wait till the finance bros see it close under the 50. Believe me, it's over to them under the 50. And, they've got good reason to, historically speaking, generally when we close the weekly candle under the 50, multiple times, maybe not just once, but multiple times. I wonder if we have we just wicked under it there. Have we closed one? Wick touched, dipped the wick. Oh, yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. As soon as I said dip the wick, I realized. So it wasn't until, arguably we came out of the bear market on March 23rd. That wasn't really the bear market. That's just when we got over the 50. So, yeah, we don't really close the candle under the... Let's see what happened when we did actually close the candle under the 50 back in... the good old days, 2021, where we still saw parabolic runs. Now, here we go. Off this peak, we did... Let's get this big enough. Jesus, that's what she said. We did throw a wick down there. Everyone was breathing a sigh of relief. Oh, my God. We didn't close. Oh, we didn't close again. Oh. Then the finance bros. Stop the press. I'm Batman. Then we had 3 closes, and that was basically all she wrote. Now, if we see, really after the first close, to tell you the truth, after the first close, yeah, we went up above it. We had some, how big were these rallies actually? These don't fade them. 10% rallies. So like that. So, for instance, if we were to see that now, it doesn't look like much, but it was a 10% rally. If we were to see that now after closing, I'll tell you how the psychology of the markets work right here, real proper like. If we were to see a candle close under the 50 moving average, finance bros lose their mind, right? And then we had a relief rally. That's what I was searching for back there about 5 minutes ago, that term relief rally of 10%. So let's just say we close down here at 101.688. And we saw a 10% rally. That would take us to 112.7. So we would be right back into the thick of this channel of descension, which is the bull flag of this epic weekly chart. 112.7, which is exactly the, what is that? Is that the 50% fib? Yeah, that's the 50% fib. We would, think about that candle. That weekly candle would be glorious. We would be rejoicing. It would essentially be from here, 101, all the way here. That's a nice looking, good looking green candle. We would all be very bullish. Got to remember, though, Saw that in 2021 once we closed under the 50. We had a 10% green candle. Everything was honky-dory. Who's honky-dory? Who is this guy honky-dory? And then we had a collapse the following week. Under both weeks, we opened the second week, closed the third week, and that was all she wrote for the bear market. So, I mean, like if we were to play that out, I wish I had some green candle placeholders here. Things to do today. So we would come up here to the 50% fib, 112, paint a green candle. Everything would be honky-dory. Who's honky-dory? And then we would have a third weekly candle closing back down under, like basically a bearish engulfing candle. And at that point, folks, we can mince words. We can articulate it very many different ways. Oh, you know, this is happening and this can't wait for this to happen. But those are strong signals. Now, we haven't even had them, right? For all we know, and for all I hope, that we min close back into this channel of ascension. 104.5. Nothing. It's a nothing burger, but there's nothing really going on in the market. So it's, I mean, everything's a challenge when nothing's happening. You know what I mean? Even to go from here, see how much this is. Even to close, we would need to have a 1.6%. I don't know if we could do it. 1.6%. It's too much. I'm tired, boss. Boss, I'm tired for a 1.6% pump just to close into this channel of ascension. Now, if we really wanted to get bullish, I would, close up here into the bull, which is this. Let's get out here so you can see a little bit better. This is that bull flag channel of descension, which we generally break up, but we're breaking out. But from where we are today to where we would, this isn't even delusionally bullish, right? This is just second grade bullish. Enough to turn the bots bullish, but not enough to turn this hardened, ice cold psychopath bullish. I would just be pleasantly surprised, let's call it. That would be a whopping 4.8% pump. 4.8% pump, nothing. Now, what would really get my bullish juices a-stirring would be to close the candle way up here, which is a 10% candle like we saw. Now we're kind of fulfilling that narrative, although we don't get the candle close. So a 10% pump from here would take us right back to here, closing this candle green, which would be about the most bullish aspect of this week's performance. 10% from here. That's absolutely doable. Absolutely doable. Storm Chaser video. What about the post-U.S. government shutdown historical action? Generally, after every government shutdown, we do see a pump. It's not immediate, right? That's the thing about these pumps, right? I would say there's a knee-jerk inversion reaction. It's like the government's back in. Like, who cares if the government's back in action? Really, like, it's such a scam, the government shutdown. How they've arbitrarily picked who gets paid. Listen, they all get paid. Some just get this massive check, after 2 months, right? They get their pay. But then you have all these corrupt old boom-tard rat congressmen and senators still fully on the pay, just kicking back in the Hamptons, checking their phone. Are we back in action? No? Perfect. It looks like we got another week here on the old Hamptons. I think I'm going to go over to Barack Obama's place and have a adrenochrome party with his man wife. Oh, damn it. Did I say that? I don't even know. That's a funny one, eh? That she's actually a man. Imagine that. We do live in an inversion world, right? And these corrupt oligarchs are steeped in the inversion. That's how they really go. Wispy87 says, problem is all those after government shutdown pumps was right after the big bear markets. Yeah. Yeah, well, like that Big Mikey money. That's right. Like that. The thumbnail said, there's the bear market. There's the busty blonde. And then there's the money printer. And she's just like, so we're coming down to this 11th hour, and it wouldn't be fun if it didn't really come to an 11th hour, right? If it was easy. A lot of us thought, and this could have been maybe the downfall. And when I think about inversion, which I can't really get out of my mind these days, is that I said this a while ago. Everyone thinks that Q4 is going to be super bullish, right? It just can't work that way. It still can, but you know what I mean? Like everyone who's been here long enough was just basically like, take my house, take my car, take all my assets, put it in Q4 and go, right? It's a sure shot. There's no sure shots in the market. In fact, the market will generally do the opposite of what everyone's thinking. And that's what I was afraid of. And so far it's played out. I mean, we still have 2 months. It could be late or it could have come early. We'll see. Check out the ding dong. Anything particularly interesting happening on it? No. Except for we are breaking out of this head and shoulders pattern. Where's my head and shoulders guy? Where is he? Where's Mr. Clean? Oh, the dead-eyed smile of Mr. Clean. There's a certain pressure when I'm looking at these overlays and assets while I'm live because I know that it's wearing on people's patience. There it is. Where I'm now, can I put them up there? Yeah, I need to make them kind of smaller. Can I do that? No, that's taken. Oh, there we go. Let's do that. You get the picture. Get the picture. We did break out, right? That's not good. Look at it following this doodle. God damn these doodles. Like, to the goddamn T. Come on. We did get some support from this channel of Descension. But yeah, if this is some if there's any bullishness to this, breakdown, is that, we did find some initial support, right? But of course, make no mistakes, the true play out of this head and shoulders pattern is down to 88K, I think. Is that what it is? God damn it, 88K. Yeah, close. 91. Let's call it 88K just for Asian's sake. Oh, you racist. There's superstitious little so-and-sos. I don't know. Maybe some aren't. The ones I know are. And the ones in the market really are. I used to work at a casino. My first real job was, of course, a blackjack dealer. If you call that a real job. But it was at a land-based casino called the Crystal Casino. And I thought it would be, I was 24 or 23 or something like that. I thought it would be like James Bondy. And there'd be a bunch of high rollers. It was all Asians. The whole casino. And I'm in Winnipeg, right? It was all Asians. And there was more Pai Gow than there was blackjack tables. So I was kind of like, what is this? What is this Pai Gow? And of course, you might not know this, but an interesting fact about the shuffle check. When you cut the car, like when the dealer riffle shuffles, they don't do this anymore because now it's just a shuffle deck. And then now it's just an AI dealer. There's not even a human dealer. But back in the day, one of the reasons why if you've ever been to a casino and they riffle check it, or they riffle shuffle and they say shuffle check, and then the inspector will come or the pit boss will come and go, yes, shuffle check. That's because in Winnipeg, Manitoba, there was a massive Pai Gow poker scam where they were riffle shuffling. So it was Asian dealers and Asian punters, they're called. And the Asian dealers were good enough to slide in pieces of the six deck or whatever the Pai Gow has unshuffled. and they were able to show the players where it was, so the players would know. And then this was before the shuffle check, so they didn't have to cut the deck and reverse it or anything like that. And they made millions and millions of dollars till they were finally caught. And the greatest part of all is that at the time, that's right, E-Money, the old Winnipeg Pie Shuffle scam. You seen it once, you've seen it all the time, right? And so they put they were unionized blackjack dealers, or they were government workers. I don't know. Was I a government worker? Yeah, I guess I was. Yeah, because it was provincially run. And they put them on leave because they couldn't really fire them until they did a legit investigation. And when they finally acquitted them of any malpractice, they were fully reimbursed for the time that they were furloughed. Doesn't get better than that. Can you imagine? Millions of dollars they made scamming the government. It's their duty, really. And then after a full vacation, they got their whole time off paid for. And then, of course, they, I don't know, maybe went back to the Philippines. I don't know, but I don't know what they do. But yeah, it originated in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I don't know why I brought that up. Let's take some details here. Fear and Greed 24. Look at these outflows, y'all. Look at them. It's a real outflow dance party here. Now, have we seen the reconciliation of all these outflows already? I don't know. I'm not sure how these markets reconcile these days. How late we are. Are we 48 hours into reconciliation, when all the sales go in? Are we instant? You would think we'd be instant, right? With the advent of these oracles, you'd think we'd be instant. However, we aren't. And maybe that's on purpose, so they can do a little bit of gray area number fudging, right? Who doesn't like a classic old number fudge, right? If there's a window where they can, BlackRock can take in money, make a buy order, get the Bitcoin, do whatever they want with it, and then have it on their ledger or their balance sheet, there's 48 hours. That's a lot that can be done with those numbers. Same with the reverse, with the selling. One might say they could make some orders against what's happening. Let's say they get the numbers of the sell on Monday, and then, it doesn't reconcile till Wednesday. Well, they can, put their foot on the gas in their own portfolios, right? Pianomattyb, are you saying that these hedge funds would be making trades against their clients? Yeah, I am. Well, they're in the business to make as much money for themselves, right? So guaranteed when you're losing money, they're on the other side of it. It'd be crazy not to think, no, they would never do something like that. Yeah, they would. They do it. That's why they exist, is to essentially screw you out of everything. Danny Kane, 1932. Why? Yeah, I can't figure out why everyone comes up doxed now. You know what I mean? This was never like this before. He says, Nancy Pelosi to retire after this last term. Who will I copy trade? Yeah. If there was I don't know if there was a bigger scam than these boomtard rats insider trading. That's unbelievable. And, the Gen Pop asleep at the wheel. They get outraged, but this is part of the planned helplessness, right? The frequency they mine. They want you to go, what the hell? Why is this possible? Who allows this? What are we going to do about it? Nothing. Planned helplessness, and they mine it. These occults, they mine that energy from you. How helpless do you feel? 100%? Perfect. Give me all that dark energy. They love it. One Else Productions is Winnipeg rye bread, just called rye bread in Winnipeg. Well, funny story. It's called Cub rye bread. And interesting, I'm the Forrest Gump of Winnipeg sometimes, right? So about 2 years ago, Chip and Pepper came back to town. You might know Chip and Pepper. They're kind of fashion moguls of sorts from the 80s or 90s. They're from Winnipeg. They moved to California, and they had what was it called? Oh, they had some Golf Punk or something like that store in Beverly Hills or something. It was very popular. All the celebrities. Anyway, they came back, and they started just, opening up as many businesses here in Winnipeg as they can. And they're, look at the dead-eyed smile of Mr. Clean. Now I got to find it again. Where is it? I think this would be easy. I'm just going to let him hear it because I can't see it. Too much pressure. And anyway, they bought Rye Cub bread. They bought the factory. They bought everything because it was kind of going out of business. But what I've heard, and this is just, complete allegations of sorts, is that, they get people on board to finance the project. And they did. And then when they bought it, it was kind of marketed as they saved this institution of Winnipeg. But they didn't have enough money, and they kept on needing more money, and to the point where they just like Homer Simpsoned into the bushes. I can't go any farther back. And they disappeared. And so, Pepper would come to the squash club. We'd work out, and we'd have steams and chat and everything. And then he just disappeared. I don't even know if he's in Winnipeg or there's a couple guys that know him in the squash club, and they haven't talked to him either. So maybe this is a cycle, just like any business cycle. Go in there, get a bunch of money, doesn't work out, leave, come back, get in there, grab a bunch of money, doesn't work out, leave. I have another friend who's amazing at finding money. It's his true talent. He started so many businesses just by getting the idea financed, which was an unbelievable skill for him. I never understood it because he wasn't really that smart of a guy, but he just knew how to this is before AI, put a good business proposal together, business plan, get it some money from the bank. And, he had a couple of silent partners that, put the bridge money together, but he would always come up with this money and they would always go bankrupt. And I would ask him, what's going on with X business? It's like, oh yeah, sort of receivership, but I'm on to something else. Like, really? Because I would think that, going broke on a bunch of businesses, you would maybe just stop doing it. But if you can always just get some more money pumped into the system, why not? If we want to go really dark here, you can see this is outside this doodle. And this doodle kind of lasted a long time. It was supposed to break out. If we were to get that one, where were we? Where was my delusional bullish here breaking out here at this confluence? This is a hell of a confluence, plus 38.2% fib. Oh yeah, that's why this is so important. So if we were to get like serpent eats its tail, right? Let's just say we do have a close underneath this 50. Let's go down this dark highway. GEMINI, I played in a band called OPM, but it was called Other People's Music. So did Kyle. I would fill in for him every now and then. And I didn't even know how to play piano, really. Different story. But let's just say we close under here. This is where this really all makes sense. It's really coming into focus here. Unfortunately, God, where's this? Can we get this guy out of here? Soon enough, there will be AI that will read. The problem is I don't have him called Mr. Clean. He's called something else. Let's go way up here. Look for things that are on Head and Shoulders pattern. Why don't I'm gonna call him Mr. Clean right now. And then then the next time I do it, it'll be like, where's this Head and Shoulders? I thought it was called Head and Shoulders, Mr. Clean. Anyway, this is where we're going to bring it on home here, because let's say we do close underneath the 50. Finance bros go crazy. We have a 10% relief rally like we saw in the 2021. And it takes us up to the 38.2% fib. Now that's a 14% relief rally. That'd be a hell of a candle, but we saw it in 2021. We saw a bullish engulfing candle after the first candle close under the 50 moving average. Now this is a 14%. We would be an absolute Xanadu, bullish Xanadu if this happened, right? But if we didn't, even if we had a 14% pump, which is maybe, you know, one of the bigger pumps we've seen the bull market, I don't know, in a week, and we got denied at his. This is at 38.2%. This is where we always try to get back to, and we fail. You can see how this math kind of maths. 14% hella bullish green candle the following week after a weekly candle close under the 50, rejected from the 38.2% fib. That's super important metric, which is 115.7. Next week, maybe we're back down under the 50.
Make sure you like and subscribe.